All right, click on Learning Modules for me, Vicki, and we'll take a look at this. In a nutshell, the master course gives you the structure of a fully online course. So when you look at the overview, it starts with course information, which is a breakdown of syllabus and first day handout kinds of information. Gives you an icebreaker activities module where you can get your students engaged in the kinds of things they'll be doing in the course for credit. And then it goes with 9 identical modules. SLN recommends somewhere between 5 and 7 for most courses. Works pretty well. I'll talk about why in just a second. At the bottom of those 9, then you'll have a culminating activities or culminating activity module with some content for sort of closing the course off, capstoning the course. A bulletin board for your course is one of the content items that's built in. There is a private notebook which is hidden from students. As you can see, that folder is kind of grayed out there. You can't really see it very clearly. That means students can't see it at all. And then there's a discussion forum called Talk with the Professor, Ask a Question. And that particular discussion forum appears in each of the modules as well. So this is the front page of a fully online course. Now let's go inside one of the modules, one of the numbered modules from 1 to 9. They're all the same. And let's take a look at what's inside each of these modules. Okay? You'll notice these 3 links across the top. Leave them there. This is what I had you delete on the one that we just played with, but no, they're supposed to be there. This one takes the students back to the course schedule, which lists all of the important module start and end dates and lists the assignments that are due in each module. This one links to the bottom of the page to the Talk with the Professor discussion forum. And this one leads to the course mail feature where they can send course mail to other students or to the professor. And those are put there for the convenience of the students to make it easy for them to access those features. Those features are, of course, accessible other ways, but this is simply a direct link that makes it easy for them. And then you have a document, which is an overview of the module, followed by 3 documents for presenting content. And you notice the titles of these documents need to be adjusted so that they are advanced organizers. This tells you what their function is. You need to edit that to tell the students what the contents is. There are only 3 here. You may need 10, you may not need any, depending on how you build your course. Okay? But anyway, we put 3 here for you to use, and then you can add 2 or take away as you please. That's followed by a couple of class discussion content items. Okay? Again, you name these in a descriptive way and build in your own instructions. Depending on what your design is, these will either be class discussions where you are the discussion leader or where you've turned that job over to students. And then a lot of that, those decisions determine how you'll phrase your instructions and so forth. Followed by the 2 class discussions, and you may not need both of them, you may need more. So again, you might have to create additional content items or delete some. Then there is a folder for group work. If you're not going to have group work, delete the folder. But if you are going to have group work, let's go into the folder and see what's here for you. Inside that teamwork area, there is a team discussion forum where each team sees only the posts of their own team. Now you have to know how to set up the teams and so forth, but that's all pretty easy stuff. Then there's a place for the teams to report back on the results of their discussion, and finally a discussion forum where they'll talk about each other's reports. So it's kind of like the same way we work in a classroom. Divide your class into teams, they talk about something, each team reports to the whole class what they've talked about, and then they discuss those reports. So that can take 2 weeks online. It would be probably 1 class period, face-to-face. Now let's use the breadcrumb to go back to our module and see what comes after the teamwork stuff. There is a submission to instructor. That's a Dropbox. That's where students will turn in some kind of a written assignment. If you've assigned, a reaction paper or some kind of report on a website they might have viewed, or whatever your written assignment is. They've written a poem for class. That's where they turn those in. We'll see various options. When we get to workshop 4, we'll see various options on how these written assignments can be submitted. Then there's a quiz, a self-test of some kind of a diagnostic or formative assessment, and that's followed by, further down,
I think that's it, Bill.
by the end of the module. But within this module, I thought there was going to be a talk to the professor on each.
No, it's actually at the learning module level.
Oh, so there's just one.
There's just one.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
In these individual modules, when you click add content, is there a way to just add a PowerPoint presentation, for example?
Yes.
And is that where it's done? Okay, so if I wanted to put in my PowerPoints for that unit.
Do you have more than one?
Yes, for each unit there would be more.
Okay, then you can have, it'd be a separate content item for each one. And that's the content item called file.
Okay.
Okay?
And is there a way, I believe somebody told me there was a way for either the class interaction, like if you wanted to have a discussion, to make sure that if you're doing a discussion on a reading, the reading's actually been completed before entering the discussion, can you sort of like, as like a, as an entry point, you can put in a quiz, and if they don't pass the quiz, they can't get into the discussion. You can do that, right?
Yes. Yes, you can make access to a content item dependent upon a certain score on a quiz. So until they get that score or above, that link won't work for them.
You can change the names of each of these?
You need to change the names of each of those.
Right, even the submission to instructor.
Yes, yes.
Make it whatever that submission.
Assignment on
Whatever
Shakespeare.
diagnostic.
Right. Right. Nearly everything you see here has to be changed by you. Okay? The SLN team has described what it's going to do for you, and then you have to give it the right name. So your students know when they click on the link, they know what they're getting into. All right, now let's go back to the learning module.